Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing really well. Today I got a download that of course I have to share it with you all through this medium of Procreate. Um I've got my notes down here, so first of all, thank you so much for being here on my journey towards art healing and spirituality. Um this is something totally, I'm not sure how it's going to come through, but I'm just going to trust that Allah is guiding me. And so I'm trying to not filter it at all and just speak as He allows my voice to reach you. So, in the story of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, there was a moment that speaks about a certain stick, right? Now, this stick has a few mentions in the Qur'an in his Musa alayhi salam's story. One is the fact that he was given the stick, right? Secondly, the stick was used to show others and himself of the power of Allah, right? Now, I'm going to start reading. It says, so first of all, Allah says to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam that he has a stick, right? Just the fact that he has a stick. He could not have the stick if Allah didn't want him to. So there is a certain stick which was, white. This is a certain stick that Hazrat Musa had. This was something that Allah had given him. This was not something that he just randomly sort of picked up. He was inspired and he was in need of the stick so that he could walk properly, like it would be a support. He would hold it and it would help him walk. So there are things that Allah gives us that help us move forward. But we are not meant to attach our moving forward to this particular stick, right? So imagine like if somebody is too attached to their stick and the stick breaks, how will the person feel, right? Oh, they'll sad. They're going to be like, oh my God, I was so comfortable. I've had this stick for so long and, I'm like now broken. And so because the person is so attached to the stick, they will feel sad and they will go downwards, right? But if you are not attached to the stick at all, then you'll be like, oh, it broke because my Allah will give me another one, right? Because Allah is the one who gave you the stick in the first place. So Allah will give you another one, right? So you have that faith, you have that trust, and you rise your vibration. So just the same very stick that can actually pull you down also have the capability of pulling you upwards only and only when you are not attached to the stick, but to the one who gave you the stick, right? To Allah, right? So you don't attach to the things that Allah gives you, but you attach all your expectation is on Allah, and knowing that Allah can provide you with another stick, you don't attach yourself to the stick. When you don't attach yourself to the stick, you are always coming closer to Allah, because who are you being attached to? Allah. And who are you not attached to? The stick, meaning the things that He gives you in this dunya, right? So first fact was that Hazrat Musa was given a certain stick. Now, then Allah says to him, drop the stick, right? When he goes in front of these people, he has to like sort of prove like he is the prophet and this, that, and the other. Allah says to him, drop the stick. Now in his heart, it's like, oh my God, this is something that I am comfortable with, that helps me walk with, and I'm in a place where everybody around me is like, can take over me. This is the only thing that can protect me because I can hit people with it and all that sort of stuff. Like it could be something that was helping him walk, something that would protect him. Allah says, just drop it, right? So that Hazrat Musa could learn to stand without the stick, because he was not standing because he had the stick in his hand. He was standing because he had Allah with him and in him. It was not the stick. So as Allah helped Hazrat Musa through inspiring him to drop the stick, is so that he could not attach himself to the illusion that the reason he is standing is of the stick. He wanted Hazrat Musa to have the clarity that even without the stick, Allah will protect him and Allah will make him move forward and Allah will, be there for him. So Allah says, leave this stick that you actually thought was for your protection, because I am the one who's going to protect you. Leave the stick, drop the stick down, let go of your attachments, of your comfort, of that what you know of, so that you're able to trust in the knowing that I am always going to be there. It's not the stick that gives you or takes away from you. It's me who is the one protecting you and me who is the one helping you move forward in your mission, right? Then he says, that was the reason he says, drop the stick, was so that Allah could teach him to trust Allah, right? Now, the second thing Allah says, Allah gave him the stick to make him dependent on it. So first Allah makes him dependent on this thing to think, oh, this is going to be the stick that helps me walk. The second thing Allah does, Allah asks him to drop the stick, which teaches him to trust Allah beyond the stick, beyond the means, right? And then Allah made it, oh sorry, my alarm just went on. Allah made it into a snake. So the moment Hazrat Musa alayhi salam dropped this snake, it became a snake, right? Now, when he dropped it, to show that at times what we have attached ourselves to can actually turn toxic, right? And if we don't let go at the time Allah asks us to do so, that very thing could actually be turned against Hazrat Musa. So imagine that, Allah says, drop the stick. And Hazrat Musa is so attached to it that his attachment to the stick is stronger than his intuition that Allah is guiding him from inside, that he doesn't drop the stick, right? If he doesn't drop the stick is going to turn into a snake. And that very thing that we've been holding on to, that we think is our comfort, that we think that we are attached to, that we are dependent on, that we think this is the only stick, this is the only thing that will help me move forward, this is the only thing that will, help me protect myself. If all of that is just this stick, right? And then the stick turns into a snake that can bite Hazrat Musa's hand, like that could have turned the game differently, right? So if Hazrat Musa didn't listen to Allah at the right time, to his intuition, he could have been bitten by the snake. So that very thing could actually turn against you if you do not listen to Allah, to let it go at the time that you are being guided to do so, right? It's going to have this poison that will kill you. So when Allah within us puts a certain inspiration to let go of a relationship, let go of a job, let go of certain habits, let go of something that we have attached ourselves to, it is because He's showing you that this thing is not bigger than Allah Himself. So when you let go, He will cradle you, He will hold you, He will guide you, right? So then He says, drop the stick. Then Allah made him pick the snake up again. So now he's seen that this is a snake. Okay, now it's very visible. And then Allah, His intuition within him says, okay, now pick the stick up. Right? And you'd be like, oh my God, you just asked me to drop the snake, drop the stick. And it became this really poisonous, long, big, fatty snake that can be torture. So I understand that I have to let go. But then now He says, pick it up. What does that mean? You see, what Allah is trying to show here is, for the snake is in Allah's power. The stick will be nourishing for you, will be good for you, will be, the path to move you forward for your soul's evolution, will be your protection, will be your companion only and only till Allah chooses for it to be, right? But when Allah chooses for it to become toxic and something that you can't depend on, then He's going to flip it. But He will always guide you from within you to take care of yourself and not be attached. He'll give you signs, he'll give you he'll give you people who will hurt you, or something will happen. He will always give you something where you're able to see that, okay, this thing is now becoming harmful, okay, this thing is actually becoming toxic. But because we are so attached to that thing, that relationship, that job, that career, that decision that we've made about our own selves or about others, that we just hold on so tightly that we don't let go, right? Now, the reason Allah wants us to pick up the snake again is to remind us that only the snake has no power. The stick has no power. The stick chooses to be that, the stick is what Allah chooses for it to be. The stick or the poisonous snake, right? Now, Allah wants you, when you're picking the snake up, for me and you to learn, for the snake has no power. Don't be scared of these things that are toxic. Don't be scared of people who have hurt you. Don't be scared of, your own reputation. If people don't understand you, don't see you, don't value you, don't be scared of it. Don't worry about it, because everything is in Allah's hands. Nothing and no one can harm you unless Allah wills, right? So nothing toxic can harm you for you are the believer, right? You will have Allah in your heart, and when you have Allah in your heart, you will know you are in the presence of Allah, in His protection, right? Because if you are in the protection of the one who created all of this creation, so you then face the snake with the strength of your faith. Like, you're able to pick up the snake. When Allah says, okay, drop the snake, He drops the snake. But then He picks the snake up equally based on His intuition, right? Allah's guiding. There was no like some messenger coming and giving him a little note. It was inspired within him, in his heart. Allah said, okay, now pick up the snake. Now, this is because he's protected. The believer, when you have Allah within you, Allah is always present with you. And when you have Allah present with you, who is the creator of all of creation, then He is the creator of you and the stick and the snake, right? He can choose to make the stick the snake and the snake the stick, right? So what happens here is that you're like, I'm not scared of this thing. I'm not scared of anything being toxic. I've understood this is toxic for me, but I'm going to face it. I'm going to stand against what is wrong. And my faith is going to be bigger than my fear of that thing, of that snake, right? So you pick it up, you face your fears, and the snake becomes a stick again. What does that mean? It loses all its ability to harm you, for everything is in Allah's control. Right? So these four things, if you can just remember, Allah gave it to him. I was going to draw it, but I got sidetracked in sharing the... Sorry. I could just do like a bigger one, can't I? All right, let's go to this. Okay, so if you can just remember four things, what Allah is trying to teach us here is, one, Allah gave him the stick. So Allah gives us certain things, people, whatever. Allah gives us to teach him dependency and what he needed. Allah gives us things, just think things or people that he knows we need and we depend on for various reasons, right? First, he gives it to us, because how else are we going to learn to be standing without them if we don't have them? So first he gives it to us, and then Allah asks to drop it to teach him to choose Allah above all. So just because you have these things, don't attach yourself to these things that you thought you needed and you depended on. They are just given to you by your Allah to see your faith and your trust, right? So then the second step is let go. So you have to drop the attachment towards them, right? You have to lose the attachment so that you can tell your Allah, ki, you know what, Allah, because He says, I will test you, right? Because you choose Allah, right? That's the second thing, because you're not worried about getting another stick, because you know that you're going to get another stick, right? Because you've chosen Allah, and so you know Allah is going to give it to you. Now the third thing is Allah turned it into a snake to show Allah has the power over all of creations, so change them as He pleases. So He, when we look at somebody and we say, oh, this person is like a snake and they're not changing and they're not growing and they're being mean, they're doing this, they're doing that, what we're saying is we're constantly defining this thing as toxic. We don't know when Allah could turn something from toxic to a garden of butterflies. We really actually do not know. So what Allah is saying, don't hold yourself attached to anybody's behavior. Recognize that whatever they're doing is doing because that's the role that they have to play in that very moment towards you in your life and in their life. But don't hold them like, oh, this person is just bad, that's it, full stop, never give them another chance, right? That's you learn, you forgive, you don't forget, but you also don't attach to their behavior, so that's what Allah is saying. So what you do is you have to see the snake. Allah turned it into a snake to show He has the power over all of His creations, right? So then we go into the last one. No fear is bigger than faith. Right? You can hold a snake knowing Allah's not going to hurt you, because He knows, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam knows that there's a reason why Allah is inspiring him to pick the snake up. No matter how scared he is of the snake, he still goes and picks the snake up, because no fear is bigger than faith. Faith in Allah. When we understand this experience that Hazrat Musa story tells us, our backbone becomes straight like the stick. So imagine this is your backbone. This is the snake inside you, right? The snake could actually be toxic, or the snake could actually be an angel, a miracle, right? It is totally up to Allah who and how He turns a stick, meaning you and me, we are under His control. So everything is under His supervision. So we need to totally surrender to Allah and not attach ourselves to an image of an angel or of shaitan at all. Right? No one and nothing can harm you. Your fear needs to be lower than your faith. You have to understand, like, if you just get these 4 points straight, you will be on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim and not be attached to these things, right? Number 1, right? Allah gives you everything. Whatever you need, He will give it to you. But you're not meant to depend on that thing or that person or that career or that job for being your everything, right? You have to understand that that job that you are working on is a blessing from Allah that He has chosen for you. But if you turn around and say, oh, my job is so much more important than my prayer, oh, my job is so much more important than anything in my life, my job is so much more important than my soul, then what you're doing is you are giving something that is toxic more attention, and Allah will make sure that you realize this by pain or something that will not be very pleasant, so that you turn towards Him again, right? So don't depend on things. understand that he has given you whatever he has given you, but don't attach yourself to them. And then when Allah says to you, let go of that attachment, meaning choose him. When you constantly keep choosing him, you keep choosing him, you keep looking up, you keep saying, I want your pleasure, I want your pleasure, I want you, I want you, I want you, Allah, I don't want this, I whatever sticks you give me, I'm happy with crooked one or straight one or whatever, but keep making me turn towards you. So your focus is constantly up on him. So you drop all your attachments, you drop the stick down, you're like, I don't, it's fine, I know you'll give me another one, or there'll be something better for me, right? So let it go in the moment when you are guided by your intuition. The third thing is understand that when he chooses to give you butterflies, he will, through the same person, or when he chooses to give you whatever, like a poison, then so he will, right? But even in that poison is a way Allah is reminding you Allah has power over all his creation, meaning everything is under his supervision and his control, right? The last thing, no fear is bigger than faith. So the bigger your faith is, the more you will be focused on Allah. The more you are focused on Allah, you will not be attached to these things. When you won't be attached to these things, you won't have the fear of losing them. You'll lose everything because you'll know you'll still have Allah. You'll recognize that everything is working according to Allah, for everything is under his control. And this will help you live a life of faith, right? I really hope this makes sense, but I'd love you to like sort of go into the depth of this incident where, the stick. So I wrote this down, like, drop the stick, meaning trust Allah, meaning detach from your stories and what the world tells you to be true, and turn to Allah with the knowing he doesn't need anything to prove his existence. His existence is beyond your attachments and distractions, beyond your beliefs and limits, beyond your understanding or emotions, right? You might think that Allah can only help when you have the stick in your hand. When I am surrounded by my family, when I am living in the same place, or I'm married to the same person, you might think that's the only source of your love. But Allah can give you love through many sources. Allah can give you rizq through many sources. But if you're going to be constantly attached to that one thing, he is going to test you with one thing, because he has the power to turn that one thing that you're dependent on and you think you need into being toxic for you. And don't wait for that to happen. Don't wait for something to turn toxic for you to learn the lesson. When he intuitively guides you to drop the stick, then drop the stick. Understand that you have to choose him above your attachments. When you do that, you automatically understand that the stick has no power. You can get love, you can get rizq, you can get whatever it is that you want from other sources also, for he wants you to see he is limitless. One moment he can turn a stick into snake, like I said, and snake into stick. So he could turn the butterfly into a snake also, right? The last most important thing is, if you want yourself to be really close to Allah, then you have to have the courage to face your fears and pick the snake up, no matter how toxic it is, to face it and see it for that what it truly is. If it is something that is hurting you, if it's not good for you, if it's not bringing you closer to Allah, then you have to pick it up by its throat and, I guess, throw it into the jungle or throw it into the water to protect yourself, right? You have the responsibility to take care of your own being. You can't turn to Allah and say, oh, you know what, you do everything. No, you have to listen to the intuition, the internal guidance that he sends you. And for that, you have to have the clarity to hear the voice, right? You have to have a certain time of building that connection with your Allah. Every single day, you have to sit with yourself and connecting to Allah in your being. It could be 1 minute, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 20, it could be 30, whatever it may be. But the more you sit with yourself, the more you connect to your root, the more you allow your soul to speak and your ears to hear the soul speak, the more your intuition will rise. Silence is where your intuition becomes loud. So sit in silence, sit in stillness, connect to your inner soul. And the moment you do that, your inner voice becomes so clear, so loud, so guiding, so loving, so nurturing, that the outer world automatically just goes quiet. And yeah, it's difficult in the beginning, but the deeper you go, your soul becomes your bestest friend, and you never ever feel like you're ever alone, because you're always and always present with your Allah, and He's always present with you. He is present with you regardless of you recognizing that or not. But can you imagine just the joy of recognizing that He is with you is like so huge, so big, and that really helps us keep our faith. So if that's something that hits you, if anything in this video makes sense to you, do let me know in the comment section. It really helps me keep sharing videos. And also, if you'd like to join my live sessions, that you're most welcome to go onto my Instagram and comment or send me a message saying art is ibadat, and I'll share the Zoom link with you for my Friday sessions, which are completely free, and we connect to Allah's names and the ayat of Qur'an and help each other stay on the path, stay on Sirat al-Mustaqim, solidify our backbone, and make our ruh constantly be in remembrance, inshallah, of our Allah, to help us in this life and inshallah in our akhirat. So I love you, take care, and sending you lots of light and peace, inshallah, towards your hearts. And I'll speak to you soon. Allah Hafiz.